Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Niney Chong and welcome to our first I Embody Me virtual event. I am super grateful to be here today. I am also very excited and nervous at the same time. So again, I want to say thank you for joining us. I have a few people that I would like to introduce to this session tonight, right? Okay, so there are a few team members. I will start with, let me see who I want to start with first. I would like to start with Marini. Marini, are you there? Can you unmute yourself and switch on your camera and say hi to everyone?
Hi everyone, I'm Adelina.
Marini, speak
Yes.
a little bit about yourself.
I daripada Kereta 7 bekerjasama dengan Nini dan tim semua untuk set up inisiatif ini. Harapnya bermanfaat kepada semua. Itu saja.
Alright. Thank you so much, Marini. So Marini, for the benefit of people who do not speak Bahasa Malaysia, what Marini has just said is she is from Creative 7 and we are co-organizing this together, I Embody Me and also Creative 7. So when I say we are collaborating to do this. My name is Nini and I am from Ministry of Marketing.Asia. There is also Adelina who is from Ministry of Marketing.Asia as well as Niney who is Ministry of Marketing.Asia. But later you will see more people who are from Creative 7 as well. I think the next person that I would like to introduce to is Niney. Niney, would you like to say hi?
Hi everyone, my name is Niney. You can call me Aini. I'm from Ampat and looking forward to learn more about this with all of you.
Yay, thank you, Aini. Okay, so now before I introduce, there's Kalai. We also have Kalai here from Creative 7. Kalai, would you like to say hi?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Carliff from Creative 7. This is a collaboration with the Ministry of Marketing and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kalai. And the next person that I would like to introduce you to is Adelina from Ministry of Marketing Asia. Over to you, babe.
Hi everyone, my name is Adelina, and I am here with I Embody Me and very excited for today's fireside chat. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I move on, right, or speak more, I would like to hand over the mic to Anne, who is one of the co-founder of Creative 7, actually, together with Marini. You met Marini just now. And Anne is the person who was responsible in I think the mastermind behind I Embody Me. She approached me last year that, hey, come, let's do this meaningful project. And I said, yes. We were supposed to start I Embody Me in the month of November last year. But due to some reason, right, that was happening in Malaysia, we thought that, okay, we'll start this in year 2023, and would like to hand over the mic to you to speak about why I Embody Me, the reason behind it, and a little bit about yourself as well as Creative 7 and your team. Over to you, Anne.
Well, thank you, Nini. Can you hear me clear, right? Hi all, thank you for joining us. My name is Adelina. I'm from Creative 7 Legacy. I'm the marketing person that is in charge in this Creative 7 Legacy, along with my business partner, Marie Mazain, and my team here. I have Vanishri and Amanda. Okay, the story about my good friend's daughter that initiated myself to do something. Her beautiful daughter was mocked and shamed in school because of her chubby size. Due to all these negative, brutal words towards her, she became shrunk, and it didn't stop there. She started to hallucinate. She thinks that she is too fat to go to school. She stopped eating. What made it worse was the family, which is my friend and the husband. They didn't get any help, and they just decided to block themselves away from the outside world. And even until today, I am unable to contact my girlfriend, and I'm not too sure what happened to the daughter and the family now. So yeah, today, after various discussion with my team and Ministry of Marketing about about this initiative, and here we are today introducing the I Embody Me initiative, and hope that this initiative will give positive impact to all Malaysians. Please share and spread the love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I would like to say thank you to you, because you thought about inviting me to be part of this project, and I think that anything that happens, it is by no accident, right? This cause is very close to my heart. Suddenly I'm feeling emotional. So I have my son with me tonight. So if you see the poster, right, Carliff Isaac is actually my son, and you will be hearing, listening to him sharing about his experience. And I think that body shaming comes in different form, and most of the time we do not we do not understand the languaging behind body shaming. And as a mother, I think that it is very, very crucial for us to understand the context and the concept or the theory of body shaming, because it can come in different types and forms, right? Without having the intention to hurt anyone, without having the intention to body shame anyone, the words that comes out from our mouth could be hurtful. The words that comes out from our mouth could be the exact thing that is taken as body shaming by the receiver. So I would probably share a little bit about my story later during the discussion session, but really and say in Malaysia. But today we have an international speaker who has joined us today, Aditi. Just for your information, Aditi is my therapist as well as friend. I met her during one of the toughest time in my life, right? And that is very, very recent, very, very recent. You may hear a little of my story later. But this is a movement that I see not only for Malaysians, because body shaming or anything that has to do with shame is not only happening in Malaysia, it is happening everywhere. So if you see any social media content that includes shame or the feeling of shame, it can be self-shame also. You are shaming yourself as well. That is the worst thing that could happen, right? Shaming yourself. So I really, really hope that we are able to be the advocate to the cause that we are championing through I Embody Me here. We hope that more people will be more aware about body shaming, what we can do individually to support each other, what we can do individually to support each other in terms of awareness, in terms of education, and of course, moving forward, how we are able to support each other in terms of solutions. All right. If you stay until the end, or in the mid session, there will be links and also opportunity for you to scan a QR code so that you will be able to join our I Embody Me Circle Telegram group, where we are able to again share conversations, share stories, share experience, and probably share solutions. You are able to do that. So just letting you know, there are 4 pillars to I Embody Me. It is heal, H-E-A-L. H is for hearty, E is for enrich, A is for alive, and L will be for loved. We will be having 2 more sessions happening on the happening throughout February until October. Okay, and our February event, our physical event will be scheduled on the 11th of February. So do save the date if you are in Malaysia. But if you are not in Malaysia, our next virtual event will be happening on the 25th of February. And for the month of February, the pillar that we will be talking about will be hearty. And we will love it if you are able to save the date, and we will be announcing more information through our Telegram group as well as our social media. We are iembody.me. Adelina, did I get that correctly? iembody.me, right? On Facebook as well as Instagram. And I will also be posting the link to our website on the Zoom chat later. Okay, so for now, I think for us to get to know together before we get started with the conversation, I would hand it over to Adelina to do a little networking and icebreaker session. All right, over to you, Adelina.
Hi everyone. Wow, it looks like there's more people now in the room. So thank you so much everyone for joining us. We're very happy to see everyone here. Now, as Nini has mentioned, I will be doing the icebreaker session. So the icebreaker session is in 2 parts. All right. And what I need you to do, the first part is going to be something that you will message or private message to anybody in the room. All right. So what you will message to them is to look at their videos. Hopefully we have everyone switch on their videos. If not, if you can't see them, it's still okay. But what I'd like everybody to do is to message a complete stranger in the room and say one thing or use one word, one positive affirmation word to the person. So something that, you know, you can say you are beautiful, you are worthy, or any beautiful word. Just send a private message to that person. Okay, so I'll be playing some music. We'll do this for about 2 minutes. Is that okay? I see someone laughing. All right, so I'll be playing some music while you're doing this. We'll have at 8:52, I will stop the music and then we will do part 2. Okay? Awesome. Let's play. Okay, ready? Go. if you just joined, what we're doing now is we're sending a message through private chat in the Zoom chat. So send a message to anybody at all and say something that is positive. So we're doing positive affirmation. And say something about that person. And say, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are worthy. Right? So you can say that to anybody in this room. All right, so that's 2 minutes. Did everybody receive beautiful words? Can I get a hands up who didn't get any beautiful words in the Zoom chat? All right, I don't see any hands raised. So everybody must have gotten a beautiful word. All right, awesome. So now that was part 1, okay? All right, we have someone joining. Yes, Huawei Nova, you did it. Well, can't hear me yet. Okay, so anyway, part 2. So part 2, you need a pencil and a paper, or if you want to go digital, also can. You can use the notes on your phone or on your tablet, okay? So this one is very simple. All right, everybody ready? Everybody ready? Okay, so for part 2 of this icebreaker, I want you to write 3 names of people in your life who you feel appreciated by. Someone who maybe, you know, is always nice to you, someone who is always encouraging to you, someone who always see the good in you. So 3 people in your life, jot it down anywhere, on a piece of paper, in your phone, on your tablet. If you need to type it in on your computer, you can do so. So any way at all. All right. So let's play some music. We'll do this for another 2 minutes. Okay, for those who just joined, this is part 2 of the icebreaker. Take a pen or any writing material and write 3 names of people in your life who have been kind to you, who have said nice things to you, who has encouraged you and inspired you. All right, 2 minutes starts now. All right. So that was 2 minutes. Have you got 3 names on your sheet of paper or anywhere that you're writing it on? Yes. Thumbs up if you have. Everybody got your names? Awesome, awesome. I see lots of thumbs up. Okay, very awesome. Okay, so let me share a little bit about this icebreaker. So part 1, you texted or you sent a little message through Zoom chat, right, to someone completely random and say something nice about them. And they said something nice about you. So how did that make you feel? You can unmute or type it. How did that make you feel? Awesome, amazing, sad, happy, nice, happy. So it's feel great, amazing, right? So that is the power of words, right? When you receive words that are positive, affirmative, and kind, you feel good about it. It makes you happy. Some even say, you know, when you have a bad day and you receive a text from a friend that says, hey, I was thinking of you. Even something like that can really make your day, right? So it was very comforting and welcoming. Awesome, Aditi. Yeah, so words can really make someone's day. You never know what they're going through, but sharing kind words or having these positive affirmation words said to you really changes or shifts your energy and your mood. So the same will go to you sharing that with other people, right? Okay, so that's part 1. That's the power of words. So like what Nini mentioned, you know, words have a lot of impact on us. If it's negative words, we feel it. If it's positive words, we feel it. There's even an experiment on this by a Japanese scientist where, you know, water has, it has effects on water. There's many experiments. Personally, I have some plants at the front of my house. They may look dead, but when you speak to them, you'll start seeing flowers. You'll start seeing the leaves growing. It continues to thrive. So the power of words affect every single creature, every single living being, right? So second part is 3 names of people who you feel has made you feel good, people who encourage you, who have shared positive energies with you. Now that is a little gift from today's session for yourself. So that is to remind you that above all, you have those 3 people that has been kind to you, that have seen you as worthy to be a friend or to be loved. So you know that whatever happens, you are always loved and there's always someone who is there for you or has been there for you. So you are always loved and you are always worthy of that. So that is the icebreaker today. Thank you very much to everyone for participating. And I'm handing over the floor back to our host, Nini. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Adelina. And that was really, really nice, right? So I totally agree with you, Adelina. And I guess I don't know, right? Many of you probably have seen some social experiment that was done on social media that, you know, they have 2 jars of rice, you know, that they put in 2 different jars, and one jar they would speak good things, positive affirmation, say that you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are wonderful. And then that particular rice jar, right, it stays clear, it stays nice. And then the other jar, when you say something nasty, something ugly, something that is hurtful to that jar, and it's a jar, right, with rice and just water in it, and it is supposed to be a non-living thing, but with negative affirmation that you keep on pouring or keep on pushing to that jar, They were mold, they were, you know, that rice actually turns stale. So words do have power. You know, whether you have the choice, whether you want to use good words, beautiful words, or you put out ugly words, bad words, negative words, right? So words do have power. And one of the affirmation that I really, really love is be kinder than how I am feeling, because we are only human beings. We are human beings. We have our judgments. We have times where we are angry. We have times where we are frustrated. We have times where our stress level is really high. And you know, when something happens, when someone do something or say something, it's just so easy to snap and say something nasty back to them, rather than just pause and okay, take a deep breath and just, you know, be kinder than how I am feeling right now. I know that it's so much easier to say than do it, but you know, practice after practice after practice, after years, maybe it would come. It could be automatic and still be okay with myself when I fall off the bandwagon and say something nasty right back when my stress level is high, especially because I'm a mother. You know how they say, when you are a mother, don't be angry to your children. Just hold their hands, bend down to their eye level and say something nice to them, right? When you're a mother, your stress level is high. And when 1,000 things are happening at the same time, it's not easy to do that. It's just so much easier to snap. It's just so much easier to, please don't do that, right? Rather than, can you please don't do that right now because mommy's patience is running low. I am very tired right now. Can I request that we try not to make anyone angry right now? We try to make not to make anyone frustrated right now? Let's just be kind to each other and let's have fun today. You know, it's really it's a simple thing to do, but it's not as easy. That I would totally agree and I would totally understand. Okay, so enough of me ranting. I think it's time for us to have our discussion for tonight. I think that I would like to introduce the speakers that we have for tonight, right? Hang on, let me just open my, okay, never mind. I'll just introduce one by one. So we have Adelina Adna. And you saw her just now, of course, right? She did the icebreaker session just now. And she would be sharing her story. This is a cause that is also close to her heart. She will be sharing her experience later. Okay, can we have Adelina spotlighted, please? All right, nice. There you go. We have Adelina now. And the next speaker that I would like to introduce is Aditi. So Aditi is a Gestalt therapist. I just learned today that her passion is actually tango. She just came back from a tango retreat, which is amazing, right? Probably she'll share a little bit with us later. And yeah, she is, like I say, she is my therapist, and she is also a friend, right? And I am really looking forward to speak to her in a public setting like this, because I normally have a one-to-one session with her. It's very different. She doesn't see me in this work mode. It's always, you know, a lot of crying, a lot of work that needs to get done internally. But tonight will be a different setting. And the next person that I would like to introduce is Carliff Isaac. And like I mentioned, Carliff Isaac is my son. He is 14 years old and he is in year 8 right now. And it is very, very recent that I learned body shaming has been one experience that he's gone through in life. And it made me really, really sad, right? So I belong to the wellness industry. If you are a parent, I don't know whether you've gone through the same experience as I did, but being in the wellness and well-being industry, right? I speak to people a lot. I share a lot of my experience. I handle a lot of questions. I moderate a lot of sessions. I coach a lot of participants. But it's a different ball game altogether when it is my own son, right? I broke down. I didn't know what to do. And I am super proud that he is here tonight to share his personal experience. All right, so before we continue with the discussion for tonight, Adelina, I just would like to check with you. Is my screen frozen?
No,
Is
it's
my
not.
camera frozen? Oh, okay. On my side, it is. Let me just switch off and switch on my camera again. Yes, it works. Okay, so now my camera works again. It's working again. So yeah, so the topic for tonight is the reality and pain of body shaming, right? And I must say this, I will start with this. I think so I spoke a little bit about my son just now, right? To share with you, I don't know if you realize it. In person, I am very small, right? I'm very petite. So for many people, I'm very skinny. There was even one time that I met this person that I've been meeting virtually regularly, right? And when she sees me in person, she said this to me, after like maybe 20 times saying to me, I can't believe that you are so small. And yet she still said to me, I still cannot comprehend how small you are in person, right? So I'm very skinny. So genetically, I think I am small, right? I've always had challenge in gaining weight, but also lately I have my hormone problems. But let's go back to me being genetically petite as a person or skinny as a person, right? My dad is even smaller than I am. So when Isaac was growing up, right, I spoke, I was, as a mother, I was always very worried that he wasn't eating enough, he was very skinny. And then I remember going to the doctor and say, doctor, I'm very worried. Why is my son so skinny? And obviously I say those things in front of the doctor. And the doctor would say to me, try you look at yourself. Are you big, right? Are you tall, right? Or are you? I'm very small. I'm just 5'5" with less than 50 kg. I'm about 47 kg, right? So there are times that I will even go skinnier. So to have Isaac eat his meal, I would say to him this, Isaac, would you like to be a scrawny monster? You want to be a scrawny monster? If you don't want to be a scrawny monster, you have to eat, okay? So, that was a very, I think as a mother, that came out of good intention, but it affected Isaac a lot, right? So why I'm sharing with you this is just to set the context here that we are all learning and I am learning, and I don't know what words I use would hurt the person that I am communicating to, right? Because I don't know really what could be a trigger button for that person, what could create pain for that person, what could be a confidence slapping, I think, for that person, right? So I am really here to learn. Okay, so I think that let's have that and have us be on the same page, that we are here to be open to learning, and you know, we do have an expert here with us today. So if you do have any question, do put your question in the Zoom chat area. You just type out your question and I will be asking the question for you. Or towards the end of this session, we will be having a short Q&A session if we do have the time. All right. So let's start. Adelina, let's start with you. Okay. So I think, right, when we started I Embody Me last year, discussing about the ideas, the planning, you had a lot of experience in terms of resources, in terms of reading articles, and your personal experience, right? And I think that my question to you would be, what is body shaming to you based on your personal experience? And when did you identify that as body shaming?
Okay. All right. So that's a two-part question. First is body shaming. What is body shaming to me, and when did I identify the experience as body shaming? All right. Well, yes. So growing up, I think once you hit puberty, I think for most people, then there's a lot of changes that's going on with the body. And then suddenly, you know, you start to notice things. So that was really it for me. I think when I was in primary school, it didn't really hit as much. You know, you're just running around, you're just doing things, and you're going to school, you're meeting friends and all that. Once I went into Form 1, for some reason, the feeling of that awareness of the how I look or the size of my body was very, very strong. Could be the hormones, and also at the same time, well, it's an all-girls school. I went to an all-girls school. So you see people of all shapes and sizes. A lot of the times, my friends were either genetically thinner or skinnier, or they're very active, right? So I am not a sports person. I'm not into sports. And a lot of the people that was surrounding me was of a smaller size, right? So that affected me in a way that, even though at the time I wasn't considered, you know, overweight, obese, or anything like that, I was actually of a normal BMI, if you want to use that as a tool to measure. I was, because I am 5'1", I think I was a little slightly shorter from 1, slightly shorter, and I was around 50 kilos at the time. So looking back now, and from my vantage point now, of course, to me now, it's like, why would I have thought that there was anything wrong with my body, that my body did not measure up to my friends, you know? So that's really when it started. It was self first. For me, it was self first, where looking at the people around me and like, oh yeah, that person has a flat stomach, all these things, you know, especially you're surrounded the majority of the day by girls of all ages. From Form 1 to from Form 1 to Form 3 for the lower secondary grades. And it started with me, and then after that it evolved into friends. You know, you see friends who I deem was skinnier than me, and they're going like, oh, I need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. And then you're like looking, if you need to lose weight and I'm bigger than you, what does that make me? Right? So it's a lot of, I think what I want to point out in here is there's a lot of subtleties to the whole picture of body image, and how it accumulates bit by bit, your body shaming towards yourself. And then you start hearing comments from friends. So fast forward to university, I was a lot skinnier because I lost a lot of weight in Form 4, which carried on to my university years. And I started hearing comments, of more compliments. Like, oh, you're so skinny, you're so pretty, you're so skinny, oh, you look so good. So then it equates beauty, or it equates worth with being skinny. So then I was already my height now, which is 5'1". And I was, at the time, my lowest was 45 kilos. So very, very skinny. If I look back at my old photos, my wrists were really small and really, really small. So I usually I've said this to Nini, I said, I've been everywhere from an XS to a triple XL. So all the sizes within that I have experienced. So that is one of the reasons also that this body image for me is very near and dear to my heart, and why I'm very passionate about talking about the many nuances of body image, and experiencing that healthy body image. So that's when I start getting more comments like that. And of course, family members. Once I started gaining weight a little bit, so going from 45 to 47 to 49. So, technically still very skinny, but I started hearing people say, hey, you've gained weight. You've gained weight. Hey, you were skinnier before. So, and then you meet family members. Hey, why are you fat? So in the pursuit of like trying to counter that, hearing all of this and like, okay, I need to lose weight. I tried working out. I tried taking all sorts of like jamu, or slimming pills, which was not the best choices. Looking back, there were a lot of experiences that came with that as well, which maybe I'll share later. But it drove me to that, and I wasn't even big. I went to slimming centers. Even now, I met back with one of the therapists, and she's like, I don't know why you came, but I had to sell something, and you came, so I sold you a package. So and that's what it is. It's all then it's all in my mind. Yes, I heard it, the words, oh, you gain weight, and I'm like, but it wasn't that much. And then you start to think in your mind, start imagining, oh yeah, my clothes are tighter when they weren't. So there's it's crazy the effects that those words had. And then yeah, even my mother, I love her very much. My late mother also, I think also out of concern that I don't go overboard and breach into more dangerous territories on the weight scale, right? Because everybody is always saying, oh, if you're overweight, then you're high risk this, instead of looking at the overall health, right? So yeah, my mom, bless her, she is always reminding me, oh, okay, don't eat too much, or don't do this one too much. But at the same time, if I'm hungry, she'll say, yeah, sure, okay, let's eat. But yeah, so it comes from a good intention, but just words, it really messes up with your mind. And for me, fortunately, it wasn't as severe to the point that I would do something that is far more fatal. And there has to be an understanding, I feel, within yourself when it comes to body shaming. So body shaming to me is just putting yourself down based on appearances. I mean, that's a simplified version for me. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Adelina. And I guess there's a mommy story there too, right? And again, I really feel this. I really feel that we really don't know, right? Even if our intentions are good, especially towards the people that we love. It could come from care, it could come from love, but we don't know what are the words that we are using that could hurt the person that we love, for example, right? And I I I recently I was watching this podcast, and that podcast was between Brené Brown and also Oprah Winfrey. And this is what she says. She says that empathy sometimes it's not about putting myself in the other person's shoe, but really it is about asking them what is painful for them, what is hurtful for them, and believe it. Believe what they say to you. Believe that, okay, this is hurtful for me, this is painful for me, because it's natural, right, for us to say that, or actually, I'm saying that, you need to work out more because I love you, right? And it could simply be, how can I support you? How can I, or what can I say so I would be supporting you? And listen to what they say and believe them, because they would know what they need, right? The people that we love or the people that we want to support know what they need. And that is how we can support them. And by asking them, what do you need? How can I support you? What do you need for me to support you? So yeah. Moving on, Aditi, I will hand over the mic to you the last later, because I know that you want to hear more personal experience before sharing something, right? Okay, so Isaac, right? I think this question, Mummy, have never asked you before. It's kind of weird, being in a panel session, moderating a panel session, and I have my own son here. And it makes this session even more meaningful for me. So we've had many difficult conversations lately, right, son? And I want to ask this. I think this question I've not asked you before. When did you realize that the feedback about your body or how you look affected you negatively? When did you realize that? Did you start realizing that?
I think it was around the time that I started realizing that the feedback that I'm getting, whether it be simple remarks, maybe jokes from friends, or things that my father has been saying, just to say, right, throughout conversation, or I think it started affecting me most when I saw my best friend from before, a long time ago, started his own words towards himself started affecting him negatively. So I saw uh, in real time, because of how much I hung out with him, his own words affecting him negatively, showing results of him degrading, slowly, like himself slowly declining, him telling himself maybe small things about his personality, the way that he looks, and I saw that, and I saw looking back on other things, I saw when other people try and do remarks to me, it felt the same way. It felt bad. It made me uh yeah, it made me feel bad about myself. It made me feel uh reinforced in beliefs. So I started learning from watching him, if that helps explaining it.
Okay, you started, Mommy is going to ask you more question, okay?
Mhm.
So you started realizing that giving remarks to other person, right? Through your best friend, that you know how it affected him. And then when people are saying it to you, it affected you as well. Okay, so now what kind of remarks that affected you, and what kind of feeling that you were getting from it? What kind of emotions that you were getting from it, from these negative remarks? Is it fair for me to say that it is a negative remarks?
Yeah.
Okay, and what kind of words that were used? Because what we want to create awareness now is, right, and sharing it to people is what kind of words that could be affecting people negatively.
All right. I guess some of the simple ones, some that you don't really expect. One of them is just simply saying big person. You say, wow, you're big. It though it is vague, lah. It doesn't mean like, oh, you're fat, oh, you're chubby. Which those two also have been words that I've heard before. Big leaves a lot to the imagination of the person who hears it, doesn't it? You can think of a lot of things. What do they mean by big? What are they trying to tell you? And you know the human mind, intrusive. It could go to bad places if it's matched with also being told, hey, you're chubby. It feels bad. If people say, wow, you're big, you hear, wow, you're fat, or wow, you're chubby. Yeah.
Okay.
There have also been some nicknames, uh, some which are very funny now, but heard a lot in the time when I was in primary school. Kids being kids. I was I used to be called pepperoni nipples. Yeah, it was something, the dumb joke lah, of course, but it still hurt a lot.
Okay. When you say hurt a lot, right, Isaac? So pepperoni nipples. You shared this with Mommy, right? How does it make you feel, really? If you were, I know you can take this question, right? What kind of emotions that you felt when you are being called names like that?
I'd say best feeling would be uh melancholy.
Okay.
Uh
Melancholy.
like it's not like not an immediate sadness, but it's a okay, they've called me that, and that is something that they see about me, so that's how and you feel it.
Okay. And how does this affect your daily life at school? Because when you go to school every day, you meet them, right? How does this affect you personally going to school? Like maybe the way you communicate, your how you interact socially, how you perform at school, your self-confidence, being called nicknames like this. Because, you know, we all know this. in high school, in primary school, or even friends, right? At college, we give nicknames to each other. And sometimes it could be a humiliating nicknames. This is what I'm trying to create awareness on. How does this nickname, pepperoni nipple, makes you feel? You can laugh about it now, right? But it did affect you during that time. So how did that affect you or your daily lives at school at that time?
I'd say uh I'd say the kids who my friends like my friends who called me that I'd start to uh I'd start to feel a bit annoyed by them because they'd use it to address me, and if ever I were to hang out with them, that's how it'd be addressed. It felt annoying, so I avoided them much more often. I maybe try talking to them less, maybe talk to them in larger groups, so I hear other people more than I hear them, uh or I just hang out with other people in general. When it comes to personality wise, I try to act more haha funny, try to make more jokes, try to become more outgoing, so that instead of going to my body being the one being the thing that's talked about, it becomes my personality that people notice more.
All right. Thank you, Isaac. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess you have heard before I go to Aditi, right? I just want to set again probably a different messaging or context, right? Adelina shared about her story, body shaming, and that people think that she's overweight, people think that that side, and Isaac is sharing the same thing as well. Okay, so what I would like to bring to is that skinny people like me, right, do go through body shaming as well, right? Which also I have my son here. He knows how hard I work to gain that extra 1 kilo. That extra 1 kilo is like when I hit that 1 kilo at night when we have our grateful session, our nightly grateful session, it's like a celebration. I gained 1 kilo. It's just, it makes me so happy, right? And then I would get into a public space and people would say to me, you are so skinny. Or or people will say to me, you didn't eat enough. Or people will say to me, that why are you sick? What's happening with you? Why are you so skinny? And people would repeatedly say the word skinny because the pre-assumption is that skinny is good and fat is bad, right? But just to set the expectation or the context or the theory behind body shaming is that people who are skinny like me, right, do go through body shaming simply because you don't know what is going on behind the story of a skinny body. So I feel that is a message that I would like to put out, in this audience today. And another thing that is really, really frustrating for me as a person who is deemed to be skinny, or some people would say that, oh, you are okay, you look good, right? You look like you don't need to do anything, where actually I work really hard to be at the weight where I am right now, because if I don't, I would look like a skeleton, really, right? And it is still one of the biggest shame that I would put myself in. It is as if that I didn't do anything about it. I would cry and I would, speak to my husband. Why am I so weak? Why can't I just eat? Why can't I just eat? So my team knows that in my phone, I have alarm for breakfast. I have a lunch for lunch. I have alarm for evening snack. So that's how I work. But when remarks like that is being thrown to skinny people like me, it's as if that my hard work is not recognized. You can throw down the drain the hard work that I put in so that I feel healthier. That is the message that I would like to put across. Okay, so now I can't wait to hear what Aditi has to say, right? And I guess the question that I would like to ask you, Aditi, is a very general question so that you are able to go broader. How does body shaming happen? Because what I am hearing through what Adelina have shared, what Isaac have shared, and my personal experience, and what also that I have been hearing from people around me, everyone have different types of languaging that they deem to be shaming for them, right? It seems for me that there's a lot of individual internal work that needs to get done. But to the communicator, right, to the person who is communicating versus the person who is receiving, right, I guess the awareness needs to be created on how are we able to communicate more intentionally and be more aware of the words or languaging that comes out from ourselves so that we do not harm or put anyone in a painful state. Over to you, Aditi.
Okay, so I want to start with Anne, because it brings everything together. She noticed that her friend could no longer find a space to belong. And that touched her heart. And she decided to do something about it. And she reached out to you and many others, I'm sure. So I may get that bit wrong, but this is the thread I want to follow. And I'm so grateful for the beautiful exercise and the sharing that Adelina did, because you felt it in your body. When someone said a gentle word, you experienced in your body what happened. There was allowance. There was space. And then, and of course, the sharing of that it's not actually the size. It was not whether the body was at extra small or triple XL. It's really irrelevant. Even you, Nini, corroborated that people might think it's just about being a larger size, maybe, that you experience body shaming. But no, you can experience body shaming wherever you are. Because if you go one layer below the body shaming, what is actually being said in all the various situations, like Isaac mentioned, big. When someone is telling him he's big, what is the message below that? And Isaac is wondering, what is the message below that? As a child, when he receives that communication, he's trying to understand, if I'm fat, if I'm large, what am I excluded from? We've taken away someone's right to belong. And he says it so beautifully in his own words. He laid it out for everyone. He saw his best friend go through something. And he could recognize it there. And it's so funny because before we started this and we were in the preparatory room, I was saying that if people just saw, if they were just able to see what the words were doing, we would need no more convincing. They would automatically want to change those words. Because the words are like giving someone a passport to say, hey, you belong. You can get as big as you want and you still belong. You're belonging to me, to our friendship, to this community, to whether it's school or it's mums or it's wherever, we all want to belong. It's a biological need. It's the basis of our survival. And the minute you give someone a term, and sometimes that term can be well-meaning. You can tell someone even something as simple as you're looking gorgeous. And that can turn into something traumatic for them because they feel like I'll be appreciated when I'm gorgeous, but I won't when I'm not. And now they'll take that as an internal license to not be gorgeous all the time. And they'll end up inflicting the body shaming on themselves. So rather than take a word, what is the right language? I would say, what is the right way to listen? What is the right way to listen to the other person, to understand what opens them up, what allows them to express, and it'll be different for everyone. It's not one rule. When we become better listeners, you start saying something to me and I'm not comfortable with it. You will notice, if you're listening well, you will notice I'll move a little. I'll shift, or in my place, I'll fidget, even if my words are not in my mouth and I'm not brave enough to say them. If you actually notice, you will see it. Mothers do it often. They can see who is uncomfortable in the room. Sensitive teachers, artists, they can tell these quiet conversations that are happening that are not with words. And if all of us understand that we are in every moment giving the other person a passport to be who they are, an allowance to say, hey, you belong, then we will know what words to use because we will listen with more curiosity. We'll give them, in our energy, we'll give them this, that you can tell me the worst thing about yourself and I'll still be here. I accept you whether you are big or you are small, because it's not about you being big or you being small. It's about you. When we are creating room. So are your words creating space? Is your body language creating space for the other person to just be? And that's why what Anne said in the beginning was so relevant. What they were holding, the parents were holding with that child, they could not create space within themselves to deal with it and within the larger community. So they chose not to belong. It's a big generalization, but you see, it's about belonging, creating safety for people to belong. Isaac said it so beautifully. He said, first he got annoyed. Then he started to avoid those people. And then he started to interact with them in larger groups so that he heard more voices that accepted him and less voices that rejected him. And then he started to use humor to be accepted. And then he started to avoid those groups completely. So how can we make it safe for people to just be? With our words, with our actions, with our invitations, with our compliments. If we were to listen more and judge less, if we were to stay away from defining judgmental words and ask curiously, how was your day? How are you doing? And I think there is a reverse power here that we can harness. If you're a good listener, you'll identify what that person is passionate about. If you identified and in one moment they say, I feel like I could fly. In a happy moment, they said that. And now you got something and you connect it and you give it back to that person and you see their reaction. This is my dragonfly. She floats around this room and you see how the person reacts. Now you've given them a positive anchor. You've seen a little bit of the light in them and you made it much bigger. Be careful with it. Don't make it something that is stressful for them. But I'm saying that our words are so powerful. And the easiest way to understand is to just be very present with the other person. They will give it away with a twitch, with a movement backwards, with looking down, with looking away. If it didn't go down well, just recalibrate, adjust. Say, yeah, I don't think I said that right. That's not really what I meant. It's not about getting it right at the first shot, but it's about continuously creating that safety. Does that sort of help?
Yes, that helps. So what I am getting from you, right, Aditi, just to be clear, it's, I guess the key sentence that you shared there was avoid defining judgmental words, right? So it is almost, correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm getting is that it is almost like my mama says, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Is that right?
I would agree with that completely. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's much better. Listen. Just be quiet so the other person can talk and maybe they'll get something off their chest. Listen.
Right. Nice one. Okay. So I guess, Aditi, you've heard just now in the beginning what Anne shared. You've heard a little story from Adelina, a little story from Isaac, right? That, of course, this is true. This question will be through my sessions that I had with you. And I think that it was very powerful for me. You said to me that it is not about being silent. It is not about fighting. It is not about flighting, right? It is not about, freezing and all that, right? But it is about me being able to insulate myself, right? Insulate myself with building myself. And because you said that to me, it's obvious that I had a lot to work within me, right? And of course, there are many things that happen. My question to you would be, many things that happened in the past, right? My question to you would be, why? Why would people like me would take, something that could be a positive remark from another person? Oh, you look so skinny, right? Because you know how skinny could be the in thing, but I feel offended by it. Why, Aditi? Why would I be offended by it, right? Where, like just now, I also said that it could be from the best intention, but how come that I would receive it negatively?
So how we receive something is how we perceive it. And how we perceive it has to do with our childhood experiences. How that was given to us. In our childhood, we are programmed. We are programmed by our parents. We are programmed by society. We're programmed by our own experiences. Sometimes it's nobody. We're just riding a cycle and we fell down. And in that moment, we programmed ourselves to thinking movement is not safe, for instance. So sometimes there's no big bad villain. Sometimes, very often it's not intentional, but these are the programs we're running on. This is the software we're running on. And everyone's running on very bespoke software. That's a combination of their heritage, their ancestral beliefs, their home environment, their school environment, the communities they are in. There's so many things that go in. It's like a big spice mix. And so how you perceive that has everything to do with your specific story. And that's why I always invite people to understand how differently they can perceive one single thing. And if we could all just do this exercise for a second, you would understand immediately what I mean. Nini, we've done this before. So just bear with me while I take everyone else through it, which is list 3 words, that you associate with the word coffee. Just drop them in the chat. Your own words. Don't look at other people's answers. But what does the word coffee evoke for you? Please don't look at other people's answers. Just the first 3 things. There is no right thing here. And there's no logical thing here. What comes up? Yeah, when I say coffee. Just drop those answers in the chat. Dark aroma, bitter. Oh, let me give you a minute to do it. Sorry, I don't want to influence other people. Guys, it can be as different as, just be very honest to yourself. What does coffee evoke in you? The word coffee. And drop it in the chat. I'm going to drop mine too. Okay, so if I'm going to jump in now, if we just go through them, somebody's written dark, aroma, and bitter. These are the first 3 things that come up to them. For someone else, it's an association with awake, aroma, and luxury. You can see that, right? It may not be yours, but you can see how it could evoke that. For someone else, it's poop, very important. Crash, brown, tasty. Someone's going to have to help me with the next line.
Safety, there is active, bitter, sweet.
Okay. Then
there is also Isaac. There is poop, crash, brown, tasty, energy booster, addicted, awake, lazy, 3 cup, 3 cup pitam. Pitam means unconscious. Potion, adrenaline, awake, black, energy, tasty, active, bitter, sweet, 3 cup, gone case. Okay. So
Okay.
mine will be comfort, alert, and comfort and alert. I think the 2 words
Yeah.
that comes to my head.
So this is it, right? These are all our maps of one word. For Nini, it's comfort. For someone else, for Isaac, it's poop. For me, it's dosa, really. Filter coffee and dosa. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I can smell it. Somebody just has to say coffee and I can smell it. And for someone else, it's adrenaline and awake. So you understand one word, so many different experiences. You think you're talking about the same thing. You think that they get what you mean. But as Isaac explained, he said, big is a vague word. What do they mean? And then your mind can go in so many directions. So don't assume that what you experience in a word is the same thing that the other person experiences from that word. Somebody's experience of coffee can be poop, and my experience of coffee is a dosa. Neither is wrong. It's just different. We're on different pages. We're on completely different pages. And we don't know that we're on such different pages. And so very unconsciously, without ever knowing it, people will hurt us. Till they become aware, till they make the effort to understand.
And ask, right?
And ask.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yeah.
Instead of
ask.
us dictating, if we were to just ask, there's a light bulb inside all of us. And you have the ability to switch on that light bulb or diminish it completely. We're all wizards.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aditi.
Thank
you. All right. So I guess I would like to ask the next question, right? And I want to ask this question to Adelina. Okay. And Adelina shared with me, I think, quite a number of times that what or how she is experiencing her body right now is the I think I'll use this word, the best that you've ever experienced your body, right? You are, or maybe you are at a better place right now in terms of your body acceptance. You're more confident. You feel that you can truly accept yourself. You accept your body. And, you know, I believe this. I believe that we go through sometimes certain types of pain, certain types of experiences to be where we are right now. Okay. What did you go through so that you are able to be in a place of acceptance?
Okay. All right. I think there are two moments, well, two eras of this. So one was when towards the end of high school, so Form 4, I read an amazing book. It's called The Girl's Guide to Being Fit or something like that. That book is no longer printed, but what that book did for me when I read it, I think it was also a very good time, was to have a little bit of a shift in the way I think. So just like what Aditi said, perception. For me, it shifted the perception and the focus of weight, which was my issue, and also I still had at that point the feeling of, or the association of being skinny and feeling, you know, confident or beautiful and all that. But what that first round did for me was sort of started to change my perception about weight. It's not about the size of your clothes. It's not about and then, like, you know, it's not about, oh, I have to be super active, go to the gym, do all of these things. It wasn't that for me. It was more about finding things that I enjoyed that had the side effect of weight loss. And so that was the first point. The second one is further on in adulthood, when I started gaining back the weight. So that was difficult for me. And then I went through a traumatic experience, which after that sort of, the saying when people say, oh, she let herself go, kind of like that, but in a very unconscious way. So it's not something that, consciously you're thinking, okay, forget it. Or after all of that, I don't care what my weight is, or I don't care if I gain weight, or all of those things. I don't care about my health. It wasn't that. It was just because the focus was more on getting out of that traumatic experience that I was going through, that was no longer the priority. Of course, it hurts when you meet people and they remind you of how much you've blown up, and then it hurts when you wear clothes and it doesn't fit, or when you go clothes shopping and they don't carry your size, or something doesn't fit right. It hurts. But at that point in time, it wasn't my main priority. It wasn't my main focus, because I had to get myself out of that that different mindset, that experience of having to carry the family, having to make sure everybody is okay, everybody is fed, everybody goes to school, everybody has allowances, all of those things. So it was no longer something that I felt I could handle at the time. So in a way, it was a diversion of attention. But then now, what happened was, after years of going through that healing process of that trauma, then I started to even though still surrounded by people going, oh yeah, I'm so fat, oh yeah, so fat, so fat. They're talking about themselves. But then I'm always saying, if you feel you're fat, then what am I? Especially when those people are like so much smaller. You're already wearing a size S, right? In clothes, means like as a measure of size, and you still say you're so fat, then I'm wearing a double XL or a triple XL. What does that mean for me? Oh no, it's different for you. So like what Aditi said, I love that, it is different because the perception is different between the different people. So that's when I started to realize and really think about what is important to me. Then for me to further understand about my body, what is my body telling me? Why is it difficult for me to lose weight? Is it hormones? Is it thyroids? Is it what bodily function is, not working at this optimal level? That is a cause for me to find it difficult to lose weight. So that's when I started addressing that, instead of focusing on, oh, I'm big, I'm fat, or all of these things. And after shifting to that mindset and understanding my body, and then also understanding how to dress my shape. It's not about fitting into a size, it's about fitting into clothes that actually fit you. And that also is another step that really boosts my confidence. It is something that really helped me with the body acceptance, because you can look good any size, you can look good any shape, and everybody's body is unique. You can go out there and I promise you, you will not see two same exact bodies. Even if they're sisters, they're going to look different. Even if they're twins, they're going to look different. So why? And then I start thinking, like, why am I comparing myself to that? I have cousins who are bigger, different sizes. Some are pear-shaped, some are apple-shaped. Then I started seeing more into the beauty of bodies. Like, we come in so many different shapes and combinations of shapes and sizes that I think also surrounding myself with people who are of different sizes and actually noticing that they are of different sizes, I think was one of those key points. Then I started looking past body size and looking more at people as a person. And by doing that, I also see myself as a person and focus on all the different things. And then, now I can say that, I can wear crop tops. I don't care. I feel comfortable. I feel wonderful in it. I'd wear figure hugging clothes, or, all of these things. I'll wear whatever I feel comfortable in. And it's no longer like, I'm not going to wear this because this makes me look fat. And I'm not going to be ashamed to wear shapewear because it's comfortable. For me, it's comfortable. They are comfortable shapewear. So I'm like, it's not a big deal. This is fashion. These are clothes. I feel good. And it's just the moment I start seeing the beauty in all these things, then I start feeling happier. I focus less on my weight, less on that. And the side effect, and then also focusing on the health part, right? Going for treatments to normalize my hormones and doing all those things. Because before this, I get comments where like, oh, you shouldn't eat rice at night. That's how you can lose weight. Don't eat rice at night. Don't eat all these fatty things. You eat chicken breast. You don't. You stay away from beef. All of these. Eat more veggie. And I'd be looking at that person. I eat a lot of veggie. I don't eat much rice. I only eat chicken breast. You can ask anybody who knows me really well. That is my part of choice, right? And I indulge myself in like, if I want to eat an ice cream, I'll eat an ice cream. And I learn to listen to my body more when it's almost full, or, eat as not too much that you can't move and you feel uncomfortable, but rather just eat enough, that as much as your body needs. Your stomach will tell you, your body will tell you what are your limits. So that's really the turning point for me, listening to my body, understanding it more, and looking past it in not just myself, but in other people. So now if I look at people, I don't really focus too much, or I don't notice as much their weight, their skin tone, their physical features, but rather them as a person. So that's why now I wear whatever I want. Last night I wore a cheongsam for the first time since I was 7. So very happy about that. And I'd wear a swimsuit, or things like that. I'm very comfortable. I can wear a bikini if I want. And now, people say, oh, we got to work out for that bikini body. I say, I already have bikini body. I'm good. Right. So it was a journey, but it all starts with yourself also. Just how body shaming started with myself, shifting that mindset also had to start with me.
Nice one, Adelina. So yeah, I can be the witness, right? That I hear Adelina. Adelina is also from a wellness and well-being background together with me, right? So I hear her share with me all the time, right? That I am the most confident about my body right now. And I thought that question and have her share her experience would, would be something that is relevant to you, would be something that you are able to relate to. So we heard just now how body shaming, what is being said, languaging, words could mean different things. Could the perception of these words could be different, right? From for people. I think that the solution, right, or how I move forward so that I put myself in a better place is different for people too, from one person to the other. So for Adelina's was a shift of mindset. For Adelina was listening to her body. For Adelina was understanding her body, and that led to her being confident about her body. Now, I know Isaac's story, but I would really love for him to share it with you, right? So I think it was a couple of months ago that I suddenly asked him, I was being a mommy, right? I would nag him, Isaac, when will you start working out? Those kind of things, right? When I make him work out together with me, and he just was not as motivated as I would want him to be. So the key word there was I, right? The manipulative word that it was me. Okay. And then suddenly things changed. He started working out. I think it was his birthday month. It was July this year. And I saw a huge shift in his habit, in taking care of himself, just like what Adelina said just now, I wouldn't eat until, it's like I cannot move anymore, right? It was moderation. So I saw, again, keyword moderation, right? In anything and everything that he does that is in relation to his body. So I asked him, so Isaac, what changed, right? What made you want to take action and made it a habit for you? And he shared something with me. So Isaac, what made you did something different than to before you started doing something different? What was it, Isaac?
Yeah. Before it started off, I was unmotivated because of my surroundings. I saw people who are unmotivated. Uh I saw, as I said before, my old best friend. He was just as unmotivated as I was. Differently so, not in weight wise to try and change how they look. Uh, Personality wise, they didn't want to change anything. They felt down about themselves, but they didn't want to change anything. And after a bit, at my birthday or around my birthday, I realized, just as I realized how he looked at himself, how his words are affecting him, that he did nothing about himself. He did not try to change himself at all. All he did was, ever so often, he complained about himself and continued on being that same person. He continued being sad about himself. And I realized that I was doing the exact same thing. So I had enough of that. I I looked at myself and I said, I made a silent promise to myself to not go back to where I was. So I did all the things that I tried learning to do. I took research. I found how dieting was a really large thing. When it comes to weight loss, I learned how uh, I learned the differences in working out, in exercises. I learned uh, every little detail that there is to have a proper difference. I learned from my mother, I learned from my father, I learned from people that I've seen before and I've seen have been different, and I asked them as much as possible. Uh, about even the little things, how they experienced it, what mistakes they've made, what they feel like they didn't see work out, and I tried to do it on myself. It it's not like I didn't try before. I've done the I've been the on and off. Okay, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll start when I get the new year. But I guess good uh it finally hit me to do it now. To get it done. So do a few push-ups, do maybe a few sit-ups, go on a walk, simple small things, and then here I am. You can even see inside the photo for the poster for uh for this one, for I Embody Me. You can see the difference already. You can see how I looked then to how I look now. I've even currently I don't see that much of a difference. I don't see a difference from how I was a year ago, how I was a month ago, how I was in July when I actually started it. But I'm happy that people who know me, my mother, my father, my sister, I can see that they see it, that they see the difference. It makes me happy.
Okay. So you know, right, Isaac, that whoever you are, it still makes me happy because you are my son, right? But what is more important? What is more important for me is that what were you feeling before, and how you shared what you felt, right? That made you make that decision, okay? And how you are feeling now. And we take actions because we want something, we want to feel something, right? There is an emotions that we are craving for. We long for that emotion, okay? So what was the difference between what you were feeling before and what you are feeling now? What was the difference?
Physically, it was I can sleep in a bed without waking up in the middle of the night sweating. I mean, yeah. Uh, Emotionally, I have felt differences in whenever I look at myself in the mirror, the difference of guilt in how I've made myself and how I've looked at myself. Before I couldn't look at myself in the mirror for a prolonged amount of time. Uh, Now, a little bit more. I can look at myself more. Before, I wasn't able to look down because of what I'd see. It's just, yeah, uh, my body. It'd be simple things like if I'm picking something up, I can see my hands. If I'm uh, sitting down, I can feel uh, the back of my thighs, uh, and that was a lot of a lot of sadness, a lot of guilt in that feeling. Uh, but now not so much. I can't say throughout these past few months I've been feeling yes, I've done it. I have finally changed myself. I'm a happy person and my life is totally better. I can't say that. And I know some people know that feeling that they can't say it's a big feeling. But the small ones where the bad feelings are gone, it's good.
So when Isaac told me, right, when I asked him that question that I asked him just now, right, I think that one of the things that I hold on to when I bring up my children is that I do not underestimate my children, right? I do not underestimate what they are able to do. But when Isaac answered me with what he answered me, that he saw how his friend was, right? And he made a decision that he do not want to feel like that anymore. And that was why he made that change in his life. I realized that as a mother, I underestimated my son, right? I could, I think there was so much of emotions. Isaac was there, of course. There was so much of emotions that involved, right, during that time, because I feel that I underestimated how my son perceived things, right? How my son see himself, how big of an impact that, you know, what he does, what I say, what kind of environment that could influence him, and how he is able to actually make a good decision for himself. Because not in 1,000 years that I could hear my son say to me, he is being toxic to himself and he is being toxic to me, mommy, and I need to detach myself from him and make better decision for my life. And that is why I am deciding to do the thing that would make me happier and would put me in a place where I am a better person at 14 years old, right? So why I wanted to point this out is because that I met a clinical psychologist friend where I brought Isaac to. He shared with me this. Before the pandemic, right, in a year, you would get a kid suicidal case, like maybe 4 a year, you know, 4 a year, 4 a year. And now they are fully booked almost on a daily basis with 4 therapies, and 80% of the cases are kids suicidal, and most of these cases, youth suicide, youth suicide cases, and most of these cases are linked to body shaming. So I think the best thing right? The best possible expectation that I could expect from myself, right, in bringing up my child, or setting myself up to win at home in my family, is so that at the end of the day, when my kids need support, they are more than willing to say, hey, mommy, I am going through this and I want to share this with you. So this is something that I need to put out there, because another thing that I hear from my clinical psychologist friend is that most of the time it is parents that is disempowering their children. I hear from my clinical psychologist friend also, when they send their child to the clinical, to the clinic, to the psychology center, right? The mother would say to the daughter that I have to spend more money for her to send her here because she is weak. So imagine how disempowering that is, right? I know that this could be a downer in the conversation, but this is something that is necessary for me to communicate. All right, so you know what, Aditi, this will be my last question with you. We have gone over time. We did start 10 minutes late, but I've taken my overtime already. This will be my last question to you. And I think I wouldn't be asking you any question, but really, what would you like to share, and what kind of input that you would like to bring into this conversation? Over to you, Aditi.
So, Isaac, thank you for sharing so vulnerably your journey. Those words that you said, when it's not so bad, it's good. They carry so much. I have no idea what they carry, but they carry so much. And I think they touched everyone who was here. So thank you for that. Because like you saw your friend, and then you could see it in you. When people see it in you, then they can see it in themselves. So it's a very, very big thing. So thank you. I think what was beautiful, or what I would like everyone to take away, is what this last conversation, where as a mother, Nini was trying to help motivate her son to exercise. And then she says, we underestimate it. We underestimate our children. What if I were to ask you to say, look at it a little more than that? We've all bought shoes. Sometimes we bought them the wrong size. What happens when you wear shoes that are too small for you? You wear them for a day, you have a blister. Now, over the blister, you wear them a second day, you have a bloody foot. After that, it gets infectious. Now you can't move, you can't go anywhere. Think about this. You're imposing a shoe size on the other person. It's not theirs. You have a very good intention. Your intention is the other person's wellness. Stay with that really good intention of the other person's wellness and create this, allow them to give you what they need. Become so quiet, so willing to listen, that they are able to communicate that. See, where is that moment when he witnessed his friend? He witnessed how his friend was disempowering himself. And he saw how he was disempowering himself too. And when he saw it clearly enough, he also had in that moment the opportunity to build a bridge to the empowered version of himself. And now he had that his own motivation to move. And when we let people find their own motivation, you'll find they're really unstoppable. And for that, you need to hold back and not impose your need on them. Which does not mean that you are not in touch with your need. You can be in touch with your need to be really supportive so that your child or your friend or your colleague can bloom and stops hurting themselves in whichever way they are. But instead of imposing the condition like the size of the shoe, you allow them to give it. You become such a good listener that they can talk about it. And as they start to talk about it, they will find out what is really bothering them. And they will tell you, I think I need help here. Or I'm not okay with it. It'll emerge. Let it emerge. Become that space where things emerge. So I think that is what I would like everyone to take away from this, if that makes sense.
Thank you so much, Aditi. So I just want to say thank you to Adelina, thank you to Isaac, and of course Aditi, right? I really hope, Aditi, this will be not your first and final participation with I Embody Me, right? I know that I've learned so much from you, and I'm not, we'll speak more about this. But really, I want to give the opportunity to people, just, maybe 3 minutes, maybe if you have any question that you would like to ask, you are able to do so in the chat area right now. I want to see if there are any question or not. Is there anyone who would like to ask any question? Right now? No? Okay, so again, thank you so much, Adelina, thank you, Isaac, and thank you, Aditi, for being here in our first session. This is an introduction session. So if you like, to the people in the audience, if you like what you are listening, right? This is just, I don't know, maybe just 2% of what we have to share. Again, this is an introduction session. We thought that we wanted to start in the month of January, and we started. And I would like to congratulate the I Embody Me team for having this session for tonight, right? And Marini just came back from Surabaya, and straight away we have this session tonight. I would like to also take the opportunity to say congratulations to Marini for the new award that she just received in Surabaya. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. We do want to take a photo, and I think Marini will be leading the press or the media into a special room. But before we go ahead with that, I would like to share my screen right now, so that you are, so I promise this, right? I promise that you will be able to scan the QR code and be part of our Telegram group. If not, there is also a link that I have included in the Zoom chat area where you are able to do so. Again, just a little reminder, stay tuned. We are iembody.me, iembody.me on Facebook as well as Instagram. I will also be putting in the website address in the Telegram group later. Chong? Oh, okay. And what is this? Yeah. Oh, okay. So Adelina, this is Telegram also. Hi, Adelina. Okay, it's the same one. So I like to say that our next session will be on the 11th of February for our physical session. It will be at World Trade Center. World Trade Center is our official venue partner for I Embody Me. And we will be having our next virtual session on the 25th of February. So with that, I would just like to pass on the mic to Anne. Anne, do you have anything you would like to add, Anne? Are you there?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Aditi for joining us tonight. I'm very grateful that you dedicate some of your time for us. Thank you so much. To Isaac, okay. Thank you for sharing your stories. You know I love you, right? You will always be my little boy. I was so I just want to say that you are a very strong boy. Okay. Thank you for sharing us your story. And Adelina, I feel you. And yeah, and for those that join me tonight, I saw Husna, Azhar, Ilham, Erani, who else? Siapa lagi Marini? I think many of our friends joined us, kan, Marini? Yeah, thank you so much for your support. Yeah, and this is not the end. This is just the start. So yeah, I would love to see all of you again for our next session. Thank you to the medias. Siapa? Raziz. We have Raziz. We have Harry from Glam. Who else we have? We have from Utusan Malaysia. Kak Rahana. We have Suli from Harian Metro. Did I get it right, Marini?
Betul.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Siapa lagi? I think that's about it, Nini.
Thank you so much, Anne. And thank you again for having me and my team to be part of I Embody Me, right? Like I say, there is no accident, right? Just as we started the I Embody Me session, I the first time that we met this year, I told you that I Embody Me is really close to my heart right now, and I think you know why, right? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you to the I Embody Me team for making tonight happen. Thank you again to our speakers for tonight. Isaac, I just want to say this in front of people. I'm so proud with you sharing your experience here, right? That was courage that you demonstrated there. All right, so thank you, everyone. See you on the 11th of February and 25th of February.
Yes, thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.